I don't care whose mouth it comes from. You should always be skeptical when you hear, read, or even sense the words free and money together. This is doubly true in virtual trading economies like TF2's, where scams are rampant. That being said, if you have Steam wallet funds that are lying around, and you could potentially make some free money, TM. Let's take a look at some yearly trends for cases that are a guarantee for profit. Disclaimer: this is not financial advice, 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 this is not financial advice. Additional disclaimer: don't forget to subscribe. I honestly don't like groveling for engagement because I find it devoid of self-respect, but it works. If you appreciate my shit and you want more of it, you can let me know by engaging. Before I do a deep dive into the cases, I should explain what the yearly trend for these cases is. As you can see, cases tend to get really expensive around October through December, and they plummet and hover low from January through March or April-ish. This is because of the annual seasonal Halloween and Christmas-themed updates, although recently, the summer updates have been following this trend as well. These updates allow you to unbox novel, unusual effects from old cases. During these seasonal events, it's impossible to unbox Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3, henceforth referred to as Gen collectively, effects. After the conclusion of the seasonal event, all cases, including the newly released one, will revert to granting Gen effects, and only seasonal effects that were released at the same time as the case. Based on this trend, there are a few characteristics that a case should possess to make it a viable option to reap the benefit of this cycle. The case should ideally have fewer than 25,000 listed on the Steam community market, they should not be dropping anymore, and they should have at least some good shit. Optionally, these cases should also be affordable enough for you to buy in bulk. If you can afford to ball out on several expensive-ass cases though, don't let this last optional point stop you. Before we take a look at my top cases, let's take a peek at cases that do not have all of these characteristics. Stinker number 1. The Winter 2021 cosmetic case is a flaming piece of crap. There are well over 100,000 of them on the Steam market, and you get pretty much exclusively crap out of these cases, even if you unbox a commando grade. Even good-ass effects on the hat chocolate, the meme value hat, can't even crack a 200 key sale. The only redeeming quality this case has is that it was removed from the drop pool. Stinker number 2. The Winter 2020 cosmetic case suffers from the same problems. It's highly abundant, especially since more people were trapped inside in 2020, driving up supply. Even if you get any of the assassin grades, or even the elite grade, it will be shit! In fact, I'm going rant mode. Fuck you. This is the assassin grade demo hat, and it is failing to sell for 50 keys with green energy, an otherwise pretty good gen effect. What about this ugly ass pyro hat that miraculously sold for 42 keys at some point 4 years ago, but is now failing to sell for 50 keys? They even used the same joke for one of the assassins and the elite. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that I thought the gag about stacking hats on top of each other was funny 13 years ago. This case gets just a modicum of redemption by offering up the Rain Dunabini, which clocks in pretty well for sale prices, especially for a Mert grade. Pretty much everything else sucks though. Once again, the only redeeming quality this cesspool has is that it is no longer in the drop pool. So what cases are actually worth your time? Hit number 1. Tough breaks are the first obvious candidate. This case is the confluence of the aforementioned characteristics of a good case. Although most of the stuff in here sucks, you can get the Patriot Peak, which is a coveted all class, especially if it has good limited effects. Furthermore, at the time of recording, there are 1,409 listed for sale. They also were dropping for only a brief time in 2015 and 2016 and have been retired ever since, so the supply has been dwindling for quite some time now. Hi, we're going to spend a very brief amount of time examining the Tough Break cosmetic case cycle. As you can see, it's very cheap kind of at the beginning of the year, and it stayed cheap throughout the summer until kind of 2023 when you got these unusual effects in the summer that can be unboxed on these old case, your mountain halos, your Sakura smoke bombs, etc., etc. But it generally stayed cheap in the summer until 2023 rolled around, and you see it really climb during Halloween, stay a little bit high during the winter, and then fall to a different low than was before. And you see this cycle kind of repeat. Here we go again, high around Halloween 2022, stays kind of high 2023, and then hits another low. This time it got high in summer in 2023 because these effects could be unboxed on this case. And then it got low again at the beginning of the year, and so on and so forth. Right now we are kind of at the end of September, and we're seeing it at an all-time high, kind of in anticipation for the Halloween update. And I could go through all of these cases piecewise that I'm talking about in my video, but I think that would be a little bit gratuitous. These trends are more or less the same, just different numbers because the cases are worth different amounts. Obviously the Tough Break is just this on a bigger scale, and the summer 2020 case is just this but on a smaller scale. This is an old buy order I had from, oh gosh, around right here. I was pretty successful for a little bit, and even I was grabbing some around as late as here, but I haven't picked up anything in a little while off this buy order. I recommend you set one of your own kind of around this time if you can afford to.
Yes!
Tip number 2. Summer 2020 cases are another excellent candidate. The TF2 Summer Seasonal Update released super late in 2020, on August 21st, 2020 in fact. Compare that with subsequent summer update drops: June 22nd in 2021, July 29th in 2022, July 12th in 2023, and July 18th in 2024. In addition to this, the 2020 Halloween update also dropped on October 1st. Compare that with subsequent Halloween update drops: October 5th in 2021 and 2022, October 9th in 2023, and October 10th in 2024. The later summer start date and earlier Halloween start date means that the 2020 summer cases were only dropping for 41 days before being retired forever, and it shows. This is all not to mention that the case has some pretty decent cosmetics. There is some crap, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Hit
Yes!
number 3. That optionally expensive case? Yeah, I was alluding to gunmetal cases. These are the epitome of all of the characteristics I mentioned. They are highly limited, with only 286 listed. It was dropping in late 2015 and early 2016, and there's pretty much not a single hat in here that one would be upset about unboxing. Heater after heater after heater in here. And there we have it. That was the playbook on free money if you have Steam Wallet funds lying around. It really is that simple. Buy when demand is low outside of seasonal events, and resell during seasonal events. Rinse and repeat yearly ad infinitum. I would not be doing my due diligence if I did not express gratitude towards the people that made this video possible. A huge thanks to Brad Armstrong for providing these funny little emojis I used for stinkers. If you want to commission that dude for art, his Steam profile is in the description below. And a huge thank you to Blake Underhill for letting me borrow your song Untitled. Thank you guys both so much.